Hey, we are back again. Running late as normal. That's our thing. I would say it was because of customers, but it really wasn't. We were just messing with the lights, trying to get some more lighting in here. So, but how is everybody doing today? We have two people watching. So, William Francis is watching. Well, that's good. I'm glad he is.
Yeah.
So, and then another person. So. We thank you for your patience. It's probably Tommy.
It probably is. Yeah, so last week we had like 15 people right out of the
get-go. Yeah, we did.
did.
We had a whole bunch of people, so we understand time and things and stuff like that. My mom told me that's her favorite part on Wednesdays is to watch me live, but she remembers at the end of the day. So, hey Don, thanks for joining us. Vince, hey thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. So hey, how was your show this Saturday?
So the show was pretty good, actually. A lot of the dealers that set up were pretty happy with the amount of, excuse me, the amount of customers that were.
See, I heard that the dealers there had a hard time because on the way home when they were sitting in their car. They had a bump in their behind because their wallets were fat from making money.
Yeah,
so,
I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, a few of the people were just like, "Hey, I did average," but there was clearly
more people,
and it's the same thing where there's new people, still new people. It's still trickling down.
There's still new people, and then there's people that were in it that are now getting back into it that are like, "Hey, there's money to be made now again."
Yeah.
So hey, let's make some of that money.
Yep.
Hey, AC, how are you doing?
Yep, they
got
out for a while.
Stuffy.
Yeah. Oh, I do. Yeah, I do. As
Oh,
soon
okay.
as we sat down,
I
started sniffling and sneezing and
coughing and aching.
But I've already had COVID.
Okay,
and that wasn't that long ago.
Well, I'm glad you did. So
But,
I'll go ahead and skip out on that COVID if we can help. We have 12 people watching.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a miracle.
So what we're going to talk about? So we're going to throw this out because we're going to kind of take care of some, I guess, housekeeping business kind of things. But what we're talking about is integrity in the hobby, and we got two big stories we're going to lead with.
There's integrity in the hobby?
Well, there is. I think there is.
See, I've been in it so long I forgot what it was.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that, but of course we're going to talk about the couple big stories, and kind of that leads us into this in case people hadn't heard about those.
Yep.
And then, so just throwing it out there, have you guys had any situations... just be thinking about this and post in your comments where you've really seen somebody have a lot of integrity, maybe it's a certain business or something that you've seen have a lot of integrity, or is the opposite happened, something shady's kind of happened to you or whatever.
For sure.
And if it's shady, don't badmouth them publicly on.
Oh no, you can. Oh, we give you we'll badmouth who we want.
Yeah.
No,
I'm not gonna badmouth.
Especially if it was Bobby.
Yeah.
If anybody had any bad dealings with Bobby, definitely tell us.
Yeah.
Or me specifically.
Yeah.
Because we can deal with that. So, but yeah, we don't really want to badmouth anybody. But AC, the boxes are $190.
Yeah.
For the hoops.
Yep,
So.
hoops this year, which, again, the hobby continues to adjust because if you'd asked me 2 months ago what did I think hoops would be, I would have said 300.
Yeah.
Just coming out, just because that's where we've been the last couple years.
Yep.
So 190.
Well, the prediction on this class is not... The Zion class was insane.
Yeah.
And then last year's class with LaMelo was at the same point, but then came down towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
And this year, none of the rookies are doing like crazy like that. So, and now like even 2019-20 stuff starting to come down a little bit because people aren't chasing Zion on it anymore. So, but
yeah. So we'll just address some of the stuff out here. Contenders Draft Blasters. The reason that's sitting here is just to kind of remind everybody. I made a couple social media posts, but I put probably a couple $1,000s in retail last weekend, and it's not like it used to be where retail is $80 a blaster. We actually have a pretty good selection over there of retail, specifically football. And it's that time of year, for football.
Yep.
And most of the blasters are $35, $40. which is quite reasonable considering most of them are 38, 35 if you find them in Walmart.
Yeah, for sure. 25 to 35 in the stores if you find them. So
yeah, so
we've tried to compete with them, even though Walmart you just don't find it. I mean, people are buying them out, trying to sling them here, or everybody, a lot of people are buying them, being like, "Hey, we're going to do breaks. We're doing breaks. We're busting 10 matte blasters." So it's like it happens. So, but yeah, we are trying to keep more of our mid-priced stuff in here.
Yeah,
because we know that's our sweet spot for this shop.
Oh yeah, for this shop for sure.
For sure. Now, tell me, what in the world? I keep on tripping over little plastic figures.
Yeah, so the reason I have all these out here, well, they're mostly football for one reason, have them out here. But Funko Pops is something that we've recently got into, and I kind of focused on more the sports. And these little ones, Funko Pop Gold, there's a giant version of these, but the Funko Pop Gold, I personally believe is probably this generation's starting lineup. So you kind of had starting lineup, and the only acceptable replacement was kind of McFarlane figures.
Mm-hmm.
Then after that, it just kind of bounced around, and there was no real replacement.
Yeah.
But Funko is a name brand, and these little figures, I've actually lowered, and they retail for $10. So we're $10 a piece on these, but they only started with the quarterback class and a few basketball players, but they are releasing 10 to 15 different ones over the next 2 months. And
do they ever have any baseball ones?
They are. So Mike Trout, Ohtani, those guys,
they
Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
I wish they would do some classic ones like the Babe Ruth and stuff.
Babe
like
Ruth.
that.
Yeah,
like
Yankee
greats.
They didn't do Babe Ruth, but I have some Shaquille O'Neal on the way, and a couple Allen Iversons.
Oh, well, there you go.
And so these Funko Golds, I think, are kind of going to catch on. So I was just pointing those out because these will be the first pieces, starting lineup first
just
pieces.
Just like everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Consider their first pieces.
So I know there's a Morant coming out very soon, stuff like that. So those are there. And then one last thing, you already kind of talked about hoops. Fully Loaded, I just got in today. So Fully Loaded, WWE Fully Loaded. It's $55 a box.
One autograph per box.
Yeah, one autographed, one encased autograph per box.
Hey Shane, thanks for joining us. Josh, he needs that Lamar. So we'll just go ahead and pull it for you. Just let us know. We can pull you one. Hey Betty, hey, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And Heather Burke, thanks for watching. Jeremy Tristad, how are you doing? I saw that you recently another shop you're involved with in some part of Michigan, which we figure we'll probably lose customers to them because they'll be like, I don't want to buy anything here. I'm going to bypass all the rest of Ohio. I'm going to Michigan to buy for Jeremy.
Yeah.
So we're glad that you're back in the card hobby on the business side. So
yeah, and so again, our point we're going to get to after we talk about one more thing is what happened to the integrity in the hobby. We're going to talk about the last 2 weeks' big stories, and if you guys have anything where somebody's shown integrity, hasn't really shown integrity, or you see something kind of fishy going on, feel free to throw your comments out there and we'll kind of discuss it. But one last thing is we talked about the show, but we've got a trade night coming up. And
we're still doing those?
Yeah, we are. So the next one's February 5th. And the usual thing is pizza, that sort of thing. So sometimes we do gift bags. I think this time it will be a gift bag kind of thing. First 30 people will get a gift bag. We were just talking about what we're going to give away. We're trying
to do
that.
some sort of giveaway involved with it. We'll figure that out over the next week. What do we got? 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
2 weeks from this Saturday.
2 weeks from this Saturday. So we will have all the details done 2 Sundays from this Saturday. We'll have all the details done.
Yes,
the day after. The day after
we'll know exactly.
Yeah. But no, we'll have more details next week, and then the following week, and then
so it'll be right before the Super Bowl.
Our Traders Day is February 5th. It will be from 12 to 6. That's our regular normal hours. We allow anybody to come in, buy, sell, and trade with other customers as normal. But that's we just run it as an all-day event. So we do notice that a lot of people get here between the 1 to 5 hours. That's probably the sweet spot. We usually try to have pizza around 4.
Yeah.
So Nick Stills here. He said, as long as you guys don't take your giveaways back. Well, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
We might.
We might.
We
Yeah.
might. We might be not
We should
giving
give
away.
away a kaboom and then take it back.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
we should do that. We should give away kabooms, and then we'll be like, no kaboom for you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah,
hey,
we
what story you want to talk about first?
well, go with that one first.
Okay,
The breaking
so-
kaboom.
So, okay, if you are an online breaker, this is just some advice to barnyard breaks in particular. If you're an online breaker and you're making I don't know if you make your living that way, I'm not going to say you do, but you make good money because you're busting really good cases. And if you renege on a promise that you've given to the public and people have shared and shared and shared and shared, it's going to hurt your business. Now, I'm not saying that, if you have, I don't know how many followers you have, if you have 20,000 followers, if you have 1 million followers, a percentage of those people are not going to trust you ever again. That's just business. So, if you tell somebody you're going to do something, you need to follow through, or back not barnyard breaks. Well, I always thought it was barnyard breaks. I don't know. Backyard breaks. Anyways, thanks, Vince.
Yeah.
I like being
That's
corrected.
funny, though.
I like
Yeah.
being corrected on everything.
Yeah.
But so anybody that did not see this story, there was this company called Backyard Breaks.
Barnyard break. is funny.
They busted a case, and they promised that somebody that was the skunk of the case, which would be the person that got the worst, did not get anything or something, would get this box of cards, which happened to be Absolute Football, which is like an $800 box. So it had to be, the product that they were opening had to be a huge product. I'm assuming National Treasure or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a huge product to give away an $800 stinker product, whatever. Anyways, so they open the pack and go ape crap over it. Like, oh my gosh, we hit it. Out of the first pack. It happened to be a Trevor Lawrence gold kaboom out of 10.
Right, yeah.
There's only 10 that were made. And then, the one guy was trying, he was in an impossible situation. The one guy in particular, because he was like, man, he's like, a card like that is, everybody's range between $10,000 to $20,000. It's hard for me to give up something like that, but that's what you said you would. The other guy, complete slime ball. You can tell me I'm fat and everything, that's fine, but from the breaks, from me watching him, I didn't trust him a bit. And as soon as he kept on saying, I don't know what we're going to do with
He kept
this,
saying, I don't want to be the bad guy.
he's like,
basically.
and then he all of a sudden was like, man, okay. He's trying to cover his buddy's butt on it, and he basically says, hey, he's like, well, I hate to be the bad guy,
Yeah.
but we're not giving this card away. And it's like, if you were watching them and you were following their breaks, you should have shut off your account right then and never deal with them again, because that's not the honest, reputable thing to do. That's happened in the past.
Yeah.
There supposedly was somebody that hit, I can't remember, it was a couple years ago, a fairly successful breaker had opened up a box and hit, what was it, what was the product? It was the One or something like that, and they hit the Tom Brady 101 autograph, and then all of a sudden the card mysteriously fell out of his hand, and then the camera goes dark for a minute, and all of a sudden he pulls up another card, and it's not the same card.
Yeah.
How can you trust that? The only thing, if you come to my shop and you ask me a question, I'm going to give you an answer. You have the choice to trust me or not. And Rob also. Bobby,
Don't trust Bobby.
Yeah, don't trust Bobby. But, you have the person, you're seeing us in person. And if I tell you something you feel like's wrong, you can call me out on it in person. I'm fine with that. Over the internet, you can't. And you don't really have any drawback to them, because most of these breakers asked you to pay for your breaks through friends and family and stuff like that, which eventually eventually government will crack down on that too. They've already cracked down on the anybody this year, in the future year, if you make more than $600 on any internet online sales, you do have to report that for tax purposes. So the only people that are still getting away with that is people that are doing PayPal, friends and family, or dividing it out, trying to say, well, I did it through Venmo, I did it through Cash App, all these, there's 100 different Cash App companies now that are working. So, but eventually they will catch up with you. So with integrity, you do what you do. You got one, you follow through with what you said you're going to do, and two, you do file taxes on your business. That's how we look at it. So, what is your thought on it?
I mean, obviously, one of the thoughts that I have or comes to my mind is if these guys have been doing it for a while, which I honestly didn't research them. I have no idea how long they've been doing it, but we all came through just an absolute great 2 years, 18 months at least, of just tearing it up. They should probably have been in a position that card shouldn't have been that tempting to them. That's a big card. It is a very big card. At what price do you sell somebody out? Yeah. For Judas, it was 40 pieces of silver to Jesus. So, not trying to get religious or anything like that. And if I was wrong, Rob's would probably hit me. I think it was 30, but
30.
I don't know.
It was. I thought. I don't know. I thought the devil threw in a couple more.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. But anyways.
But anyway, but yeah. So that's obviously. I think you should do what you were supposed to do, and again, then not being too judgmental about what that might meant to those guys or not knowing their financial situation. But you still should be a person of your word.
If you're playing high stakes breaking, like those had to be cases and stuff like that, a $15,000 does affect most people I know. Some people it doesn't. Well, I know people that $15,000 is not going to break them or make them or break them. But $15,000, nobody's going to say no, I don't want it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we had that, and then of course the other big issue, and there was rumors that this was possible about the Logan Paul Pokemon case.
Yeah.
So what happened there was basically,
that was my problem with that whole situation. That was a fraud.
Yes.
That's what they call fraud. Somebody was able to obtain a first series case and boxes that looked like first series and basically filled them up with G.I. Joe cards. Which now have actually got pretty popular. People are buying that G.I. Joe set just because they forgot. A lot of people just forgot about it, that it was out there, and they're like, hey, it's just something neat. I want it back from my childhood. So the price has actually went up on G.I. Joe sets.
Well, they just want to recreate that. They just want to do a little YouTube video and make that joke, basically.
That's what, I want to do one of those YouTube videos where I open up a box and my pug jumps out or something like that, like they show. But anyways, that was a fraud. That was a fraud from day one because somebody took something, forged it, turned it into something else, and sold it to somebody for, the rumor was $70,000.
That sold for how much? How much did he pay for that?
He paid $3.5 million for it.
That's what
it was, but it wasn't all his money. I guess it was through an investment group that he was part of. There was 4 parts to it. But the ironic thing is, this case was on YouTube before through Mealy's Sports YouTube channel, and they took it to Baseball Card Exchange themselves,
which is
to have them look at it and examine it,
which is looking bad on them too,
which is making them look cool. It's took their integrity in question, and it's not really integrity. It was like, did they have the authority to say that was a sealed, unopened sealed case? I've watched a lot of videos. There's Alpha Investments did a whole video about stop tape, which is they put stop tape on your sealed cases so you don't open them and stuff like that. It's just tape.
Yeah.
It's just tape. Tape can be peeled. Tape can be put back. You can put heat to it, make it to distress it to make it look older.
Yeah.
You can do if you have if we get a box in like shipped and stuff like that, and you rub 2 boxes together, the ink comes off a little bit. So there is definitely a part. It was a fraud. It was a fraud that became a one thing. And that guy, the person who originally got away with that, did it probably less than 2 years ago.
Okay.
Got away with it for 2 years because nobody was going to open that case. And when the company, I believe it was Mealy's, sold it to another guy, they showed a video, he sold it to him for $2 million. That guy wasn't going to open that case. He was keeping it sealed because it's supposedly only one. Yeah. And then it was sold to somebody else for 2.7, and then it was sold to Logan Paul and his group for 3.5. Assuming that first person assumed that box was never going to be open.
Yeah. And
they were in the clear. Now, unfortunately, due to the chain of command that where everybody knows where it came from and stuff like that, everybody has a right to go back to take that to court, to get lawyers involved to get their money back, because that was a fraud.
Yeah,
they bought something that was fraudulent. So
that's true. So again, we've talked about the 2 big things. There was the card that was hit, the major card, and those guys kind of retracted on their idea of giving it away. Then we had the issue with Logan Paul's case being fake, which is showing that this issue is going on, and both of them involved the one ridiculously large sum of money. So the question we keep talking about is integrity in the hobby. Are we losing it? So
hey, here's Shane McCollister said he bought 4 blaster boxes of Absolute Football at Waverly Walmart a few years back, and then opened them. They had 1991 Pro Line in it. They were rewrapped and everything.
Yeah,
yes,
I've heard of that.
Your Walmarts, your Targets, your Myers, which are your major retailers for blasters and megas and stuff like that, they do not have a return policy anymore. It used to be they would take it back. They didn't care. They're like, oh, it's just one product, blah, 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 you take it back. Anybody can, I can't say anybody because I'm not, I know people that have sealing machines. I know if I need something and I need a plastic put back on it, I can contact somebody, because in our business we know people. So it's not that hard to get a wrapper put back onto a box. Now, if that wrapper has a certain font to it, or a certain, says Pokemon on it, no, I can't do that. But if it's just a clear cellophane and you take it back to a Walmart, to a cashier that knows nothing, they don't know anything. None of the cashiers at Walmart know anything about sports cards. I'm not saying there aren't people that collect, but the majority of your people are they're just there to earn a living. So if it's sports cards, if it's a bag of ice, if it's a bag of salt, if it's a pound of hamburger, they ring it up and they put it in a bag. They don't care. It's just a product. So they were just taking all this stuff back in, and yes, there was a lot of fraudulent. I opened a box, a blaster, a couple years ago, and the same thing. Every pack was opened and wasn't even resealed. It was just taped, which was kind of, at least they could at least try to reseal it, But no, it's literally just taped back in, and it had the same weight as the other ones. I literally weighed it, but when I opened it up, it had already been, all the rares and whatever was taken out. So you definitely, when you are buying stuff, you got to know where you're getting it from. And believe that person's not conning you.
So I was going to just kind of interject. A question I have is, so we have those 2 major issues. So do you think that there's been more kind of lying, cheating, thievery, I guess,
In the world?
in the hobby,
Oh.
in the hobby, just since this boom, specifically in the last 18 months.
I would say that the hobby always had a dark shadow on it. There were these people that were conning the game, were buying your products through Walmart, not paying retail price, just flat out stealing it. There is that's always been going on. I mean, I hate to say it. You call a spade. It's happened. I know people. We know people. Everybody knows somebody, kind of, if you're in the card business long enough. That's not good, though. That hurts the bottom line of the stores, and then the stores raise the price to the other customers. So nobody wins when you steal from Walmart. It just hurts the next guy that's buying something that's going to have to pay more. Yeah. But I will say, within the last 2 years, definitely I found a lot of people. I think before, people were just doing it like, hey, I got some cards, I'm having some fun. And it became a business. All of a sudden, it legitimized itself to everybody. And everybody's like, oh, I got to do this, or I got to do that, or I got to get this graded, or hey, I need to get this. Oh, this is a PSA grade 8, but I can crack it and resubmit it, and it might be a 10,
Yeah.
It's whenever you take the fun collector side out of it and you literally turn it into just a business, you're going to get corruption.
Yeah, and there was a lot that went on that seemed to lack integrity with some of the Walmart, the stocking of the people putting out the products, the fights in line.
Well, somebody tried to shoot one of them.
Yeah, there was some of that. But I would say, for me personally, I don't know if there's more. Like you said, it's kind of been going on. And, personally, I'm probably more tempted to cut corners when things are not going well. When I don't think ends are going to meet, than I am when things are going well.
Yeah.
Like if I'm satisfied with
it's maybe not the person that's doing well, or it's the people that are just getting in it and they think that's how it's supposed to be done. Or hey, this is the way we did it back in the day. Hey, I guarantee you right now there's somebody out there in the world that is rolling up pennies and putting in 45 pennies into a 50 penny roll and trying to take it to the bank, try to get 50 cents.
Yeah.
For a nickel. Now, is that worth doing for a nickel? No. If you do it if you do it 5 million times, yes, it's worth doing. You can make money that way, but that's not the way I would do it.
Yeah.
So, just like everything, any system or business or anything can be corrupted, and that's where it goes back to integrity.
Yeah.
So
do we? The last 18 months has been really good, and we'll look at some of what people are saying, but the last 18 months has been really good. And if you've done this for any length of time at all, you made really good money. Was there ever a point in your mind that the amount of profit could be so obsessive that you're losing integrity, or is profit never an issue? If you're staying in market value and you're at market conditions, and there's not an issue of you doing anything wrong, pulling the wool over anybody's eyes, you're just clearly just going with.
There is definitely a point where the prices were getting so high on stuff that I actually felt uncomfortable selling stuff, but they were happily buying. I did very well 2020 in eBay, four times more than I've ever done. I just would list stuff and people would buy it. Did I think they overpaid for it? Of course I did, because I wouldn't have. I put something up at for $1,000 or $1,500, and normally it'd be something I might get $300 or $400, and somebody'd be like, "Hey, would you take $1,200 for it?" Yes. Now, is that wrong for me as a businessman? No. That it's for the customer, that the customer is ultimately the person that decides if they want to spend the money or don't want to spend the money. I don't think there were probably kids burnt in that situation when the business got really, when the market got really hot, but it was mostly investors that were trying to, man, I saw this LeBron James Chrome. We had Tom Fisher from Gemini Sports Cards did a local article on the news recently in cooperations with Newhart out of Delaware, and LeBron James Topps Chrome rookie started out $2,000 3 years ago at the National, and at some point it got up to $45,000. PSA grade 10. It got up to $45,000. That's insane money to me. That's a new car, Yeah. So once those cards were sold, it depends when you bought it. If you bought it on the way up, that's great. But if you bought it at the peak, you're upside down. Yeah. Now, what do you do to get your money back? Do you try to buy a second one on the way down to even out your price? Yeah. And then the card dropped down to about 15 to 20, or and now it's holding in the 15 to 20 range. But the card people should have never paid $45,000 for that card.
And I personally, I chose certain products to not rebuy or to have in here because I couldn't see me with a straight face or feeling good about selling somebody a $1,200 box of Prism.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But that's, kind of dumb on me. They went somewhere else. And actually, when this first happened, if you want to go back, say, 2020, I could have made another $30,000 if I would have just been market priced on stuff. But I kept being below, especially to regular customers. I kept being consistently way below hundreds sometimes.
And several breakers were just like clearing us out. We were closed, and Rob was having the best months that he's had in the shop.
Oh, yeah.
And we weren't even open to the public. It was because breakers were buying off of us. So
yeah, because I was trying to. I thought I was making a fair profit. So
yeah, for sure.
And so but again, was that an integrity thing or was I just being dumb? I could have put another $10,000 in my family's pocket that year, and so that now it does start to cross a fine line, and maybe you disagree. Kobe, the helicopter crash, took his daughter and I believe 5 other souls or 7 other souls had passed in that. His cards went crazy. There's a fine line there. Do you not throw that card on eBay that's in your $2 box that you can get 50 out of? Or do you absolutely throw that card on eBay and get $50 out of it?
I from past experience have tried not to profit on someone's downfall. I remember it back as far as Magic Johnson when they came out that he had HIV.
Oh, yeah.
People were buying his stuff, trying to buy and sell it and all that. None of those people that bought it as investments thought that he was going to live as long as he has, and is still doing well with the treatments that he's been able to afford. But I literally would not sell his stuff. I wasn't trying to profit on his loss, or a lot of people. Now Kobe, it made me question because I had a lot of Kobe's. I could have made a lot of good money, but I didn't. I did sell some low-end cards, but as bigger rookies, I held on to it. And the market finally flattened out. It still didn't go back to where it was. It flattened out much higher than it was before. But it's I'm not in this to try to profit on someone's death, but I am in to profit if someone's in the minor leagues of baseball and gets called up.
Yeah.
The reason he got called up was either he outplayed another player or a player got hurt. So am I benefiting on that guy getting hurt? Yes.
Yeah.
Or he's that good and past the other guy, So it all backs down to what you believe and how you believe it. And when you get down to the bottom of the day, there's still just pieces of cardboard. we're talking about, or plastics. A lot of things are plastic now. So
Yeah.
anyways, let me give you some of these things we had.
Yeah. Then we'll wrap up because
Yep.
we went over a little bit.
Well,
then,
we were late, so
and next week we'll maybe get into the wild card or the playoffs.
Yeah.
Specifically, and
Yeah,
how it's
for sure.
affecting the hobby
Oh, yeah.
and some pricing. But
yeah. Okay. David Franklin said hi. Hey, thanks for watching. Joey Raver. Let me see. Yeah, back in the 90s, it was easy to search packs at stores.
Oh, yeah.
I, in fact, can honestly tell you I sat in the middle of a Revco going through. Now, I ended up working at that Revco, which was kind of weird because my boss was like, didn't you like sit? And I'm a big guy anyways. I was sitting in the middle of an aisle looking at the back of 89 score baseball looking for Greg Jeffries rookies or Jeff Treadway. So that panned out really well.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
yeah, buy other dealers for sure. Dustin Sheets is watching. Big Money brought out all the sharks. It did for sure. There are cards that were out there for years that were, the thing is your collectors. I mean, we could do a whole series on that, but your collectors wanted those cards, but in their mind they didn't see them becoming so much money. I just found out. I just saw yesterday. I hadn't looked in a while, but a couple years ago, we had a guy sell me a Steph Curry Topps rookie, and I was like, oh man, hey, and I bought it. It was okay shape. Turned around, sold it. It's a couple $100. I'm like, wow, I did well. And now books for $1,500 for a Topps rookie. Now that stuff was short printed. I do know because they didn't get a whole lot of buying orders for it.
Yeah.
But that's one of those cards. Like if it comes up, great. If it doesn't, I'm not going to chase after it. But Steph Curry's are hot right now. So, do you guys pack out hobby boxes anymore to people just wanting to buy 2 or 3 packs? We do not.
Not hobby.
Not hobby. We do have a pretty good selection of fat packs. We do carry a lot of low end,
like blasters,
yeah, megas, stuff like that for customers. But no, we do not, because Rob on his side job does this shows. Okay, maybe we're the side job. I don't know, but Rob does shows and does take wax to shows, and it's impossible anymore to sell for a 24-pack box where you got one autograph to sell 3 packs. Someone gets the autograph, and then the next person that comes in wants what's been held at? Well,
we're kind of back to the integrity.
Back
thing.
to integrity.
Yeah,
I
would say yes. The autograph's been hit.
I don't know, but Rob was never going to lie to him. So several times him and his wife at the time opened a lot of boxes that didn't have anything left in them because he knew they were already hit, and he wasn't going to take it out on the next guy not getting a chance to get the hit. So Nick Steele's here, Nick Rowland, Jeff Highshoe. We got 11 people watching. Corey Hall.
Yeah.
Vince said, I feel like Kobe would have wanted me to make the cash. Possibly. Yeah. I do kind of agree. Let me see what else. AC's talking about Kobe and when he got hurt and stuff like that, coming back and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, I'll go ahead.
But yeah, hey, thanks for joining this week.
Yeah.
Mom, thanks for watching. I saw you pop in there for a minute. So, but what it boils down to for us is integrity in the business, and it is more. We have to be ourselves because you're seeing us in person. We're not an internet. You're seeing us on video right now or on Facebook. But if you come to my shop Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 6, you're dealing with me or Bobby or Rob. Mm-hmm. You're seeing us in person. So if you
most of these people are on our personal Facebook.
Most of these people are on our personal Facebook.
Yeah.
And you're welcome to join our personal Facebook because most of our customers become friends, or we're not we definitely like our customers and stuff like that. So when it comes down to it, if you feel like I lied to you, you shouldn't come to me. Now if you want to ask me about it, what my opinion or my placement of a certain situation is, we will do that. I'll do that with any situation. You may agree or you may disagree, but at least I'm going to be honest with you about it. And that's where it just comes to integrity when it comes down to
if I was more technologically advanced, I'd do that. The more you know.
The more you know.
like go across the screen.
There you go. That's what we should do. We should actually become more involved. Do something like that. So. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us. Next week we will have more on our Traders Night, and we will have more on the playoffs. We'll actually talk about sports, like actual sports, like football. Yeah. We should be down to 4 teams. I think 4 teams next week, and we will kind of see. Maybe if we have the little gold Funko things, maybe we'll have them battle it out right here. Yeah. Be like Aaron Rodgers is taking on Mahomes or something like that, and be like, who wins? Yeah.
It's probably not Dak Prescott.
Well, Dak Prescott, Dak and Baker Mayfield and Lamar and who is it? Or Russell Wilson. Yeah, they're not going to be in it. So we have to get rid of all those people. LeBron James has a better chance of winning a Super Bowl than Baker Mayfield or Dak Prescott. So, and he doesn't even play the sport. So, all right, guys. Hey, thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week. For me, for Bobby, for Rob. See you next week.